This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in fight camp, it's week 1. Delighted to be joined by Mr. Leigh Woods. How are you, mate?
All good, mate, all good.
Yeah.
It seems a long time ago since I did our first IFL interview, and I was a stuttering mess. I can remember it now. I think it was in a change room somewhere, if we can find it in the archives. But yeah, I feel like you guys always have the camera like dead close.
Just broke the lens there, Leigh, but anyway.
I feel like you like to have it on me, and I need to get my sponsor in. Can we just trust it dead quick?
Yeah, go. You could have done this at the end, but you want to pan. Right, go on.
Sometimes watch to the end. So these guys here, massive respect for these, keeping me on my path. And about these guys, I'm going to be ready as them with 6 weeks' notice. Being in the gym all year round, these guys keep me there, yeah? So massive respect to them.
Right, what I like to do sometimes with sponsors, and you're right, sometimes people don't always watch the videos then. You should do, by the way, people, but sometimes you don't. So mention the sponsor at the start. Very good idea, actually. I'm going to pick out one, and you're going to tell us a little bit about them. Yes. Right, so I'm going to randomly pick out Oakfield Construction.
So they're like groundworks, massive company. Anything to do with construction before the build, basically. So more industrial, but Mark Flint at Oakfield has backed me since before TV days. Don't want to get anything back, just to help me. You know, I spoke to him and said, look, this is what I want to do in the sport. These are my dreams, and this is what I need to help do it. And he's like, I got you.
Okay. Right. I think everyone was a little bit shocked when the fight was announced. It's a fair response from people, not from yourself and Ben and Barry and the team, but for everybody kind of hearing Leigh Woods fighting KANZU. It just, I don't know, it was a little bit of a surprise, but I think you can kind of accept that that's how the perception would have been.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened, mate, KANZU needed an opponent a while ago. It might have been just before COVID struck, and I think Dave put my name forward, and it must have stayed fresh in their mind. Obviously, down the line, they needed an opponent. I think Golden Boy needed to get him out quite quick. Obviously, my name must have been fresh in the mind, and Golden Boy approached her there. The rest is history. And yeah, maybe it wasn't unexpected for most, but I think after my British title win, where I'm at and the fashion that I won in, I was expecting a crack at either WBO or IBF within 18 months. We was going to pursue the WBO route for the Navarrete fight, which I think would have been absolute fireworks. You know, he's a power puncher, long arms. His feet aren't great, so I was looking at that fight. Luckily, I was in the gym, short notice, and ready to go.
There's no probably bigger advocate of you than Ben Davidson, and I remember having a conversation on the phone with Ben after a few training sessions he'd done with you, and he's like, KUGAN, honestly, you don't actually realise how hard this fucker hits. Like, it's scary. And I was thinking to myself, Ben to come out with that, and obviously we know you can bang, because obviously we've seen you in action over a number of years, but Ben was almost fixated and almost not surprised Ben, but he was like, considering kind of the people that Ben has been involved with in his short training career, he won't mind me saying that, but he has had a short career as a trainer so far. But for him to come out with a comment like that, people are going to take notice of that, and I'm assuming that he wouldn't say something like that unless he 100% meant it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, last fight, I think it came out, it was the first coach to come out and basically promote that I could bang, and I don't know if everyone just thought, oh, he's just saying that because Reece Mold's a pressure fighter, like, comes forward, maybe it will slow him down. Maybe people thought there was a hidden agenda, but it's like, what would he get out of saying that? He's never said it about any other fighter. I think Ben gets a lot of stick, you know. I think it is a lot of jealousy, you know. He's a young lad, young, good-looking lad with beautiful locks, you know. It gets a lot of stick off the boxing community, but his knowledge. I've obviously been trained by a few coaches before, ran some great coaches who have produced world champions, but his way of viewing boxing, his perception of it is unbelievable, and I just feel extremely lucky to have him on my side, and I think it's the best move I could have made, especially going into this fight, and any fight in the future is a great thing to have. The whole team as well, Lee Wiley down there, the performance center, all the facilities, but mainly like having Ben is my biggest strength, not my power.
See, I might not know anything about boxing myself, but one thing I can do is I can tell someone that does know about the sport. And knowing Ben over the last sort of 4 or 5 years, I know that old cliche saying of a student of the game, someone who literally, I've never ever spoke to Ben Davidson, we speak regularly, where it might be at 2 a.m, it might be at 10 p.m, might be at 2 o'clock in the day. The majority of the time, if he's at home, he's watching an old fight. But with the purpose of a fight is coming up or to learn something, because we're actually having that discussion while he's watching whatever. He's constantly learning, and he is like relatively inexperienced in the game. But you say that, you can only say that for so long. He's obviously involved with Josh Taylor's brilliant win over Ramirez. He's been involved with Tyson Fury, Lee McGregor, yourself. So eventually we're going to have to stop saying that, oh, he hasn't got the experience.
That's it. I mean, I think like some coaches have experienced like taking lads in the corner, doing routine things what a lot of trainers do, you know, and because they've done that thing for a number of years, they've got experience. But with Ben, he's obsessed with getting getting the winner of the line for one. He's obsessed with boxing, full stop, and learning. And he ain't done learning, but the way he views it and breaks fights down is actually incredible, and that's down to how much effort and time he puts in to individually analysing each little thing. That's like the game plan for my last fight. I was only with Ben for 6 weeks, and it was like I just trusted him. I thought, you know what, he's genuine. We spoke quite a few times, and I could just tell he's a genuine person. He wanted me to do well. He wants me to win. He's not bothered about how much he gets paid off me. We don't even mention money, to be honest. And I just trusted him. I thought, right, I'm going to do as he says, because I fully trust him. I didn't really understand what I was doing, but I knew I was going to do it. So I kept doing it. He said, look, this isn't working. You're not doing this because of this. You're getting caught here because of this. You're not getting this off because of that. And I was so frustrated. I was like, I'm doing it, Ben. I'm doing it. It's like, no, right, watch this. And he got the video. He went, look, you did it there. What happened? I went, all right. And then he went, right, you look at this bit. Right, you didn't do this. Look what happened. I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I just kept doing it. Even then, I didn't understand totally what was happening, but I just did it. Went into the fight, the British title fight, did the things he said. Boom. Obviously, got an emphatic knockout. And building up to that knockout as well, the things I was doing, like I said, just did them. Now I've been back to the gym since the fight, and I've been working with Ben months and months and months. Not only am I doing what he says, I understand what I'm doing. And going into this fight with this game plan, which is slightly different, not only am I doing as I'm told, I know why I'm doing it, and I know where to do it, and I totally get it. And that's probably going to be my best thing going into this fight. Yeah, I've got devastating power, but it's about knowing how to use that power. And it all goes back to other things Ben talks about, like philosophy of war and all the individual things, and it all comes into play.
I think you make a good point. Boxers can have power, but it is the understanding of exactly how to use that power that makes it effective.
Great power, great responsibility. You know, if I come out and think this fight's over, I'm just going to come out and blast away. You know, you can gas out, you can get caught yourself. You need the surprise element. I think it was Muhammad Ali against Liston or someone. He felt his shots, and it was really hard. And he took a few, and he thought, fuck, he thought he's strong, he can really punch. But that's where the bar was. The shots didn't get any harder than that. So he took a few, and then he got accustomed to that power, and he knew he wasn't going to get any higher. So once you get used to that, once you know where the bar is, you know what you're dealing with. So if someone mixes the power up, whack, oh, that was a big one, touch. Is one coming, is one not? You can't brace for every little shot because it takes out your tank. And all of a sudden, they get relaxed, bang, a big power shot comes again. Yeah? This is kind of the things that you need to take into consideration with the responsibility of having power.
Let's talk about the monster, Kanzu. How do you rate him? How difficult is this going to be for you on Saturday night?
It's going to be a hard night. A world title fight you're never going to get an easy fight for a world title fight. Saying that, I know exactly what I need to do, like I said, and I'm going to go out and do it, regardless of how hard it gets. There may be swings in the tide where he pushes himself, he digs deep, to win a few rounds or win a round. But as long as I stick to what I need to do and stay disciplined in my game plan, the tides will swing back and it'll be in my favour most of the fight. He's a good fighter, a very good fighter. I think he's ranked number 3 or 5 with the Ring magazine, which is quite high. Regardless of the title, people will slate and say, "Oh, it's only a regular title." But the super.
What belt have they got?
Exactly. What belt have they got? But the super champion's not boxed. He's moved up in weight, and look, all being well, I win this belt, and I'll straight away like to silence critics and either fight the super champion or try unify and show again what I'm capable of.
I think a win over Kanzu for you, Leigh, the belt is almost completely secondary. The win in itself is worth its weight in gold because that will obviously ripple around the world that's happened. So I'm assuming that's kind of the priority. Yes, it is nice to have that belt wrapped around your waist, but the win itself kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah, as you get older, you realise that like the belts don't really mean that much. Maybe it's just I take that element out of it. I've said this in a few interviews. Like I take the pressure off by thinking, right, I take away the belt, I take away the status, being world champion, I take away the money, how much it's irrelevant. All that's irrelevant. I just focus on my opponent, what I need to do to beat him, and that's it. Because if you think about other things, it can add a different dynamic to it. It's like, why do you need to put that pressure on yourself? It's like saying, right, you stand on your 2 feet there, jump as far as you can, and you make it say, right, you need to do that same distance again, or you got to give me £500. You'd be like, it's another dynamic. You've just done it, but because there's another element to it, you're putting pressure on yourself, and you're overthinking it. So just forget everything else. Forget all the bullshit. Forget the people watching. Forget the TV. Forget the belt. Forget the money. Forget everything else. Like I wanted to do this since I was a young kid. Like I was 10 years old when I started boxing, and this is where I always wanted to get. And I believe in myself. It's been a long, hard road with a lot of issues along the way, but that makes it for a great story at the end. And Saturday night, I'm going to be world champion.
Just from a fan perspective, I suppose we would look at it as your best chance of obviously coming through on Saturday night is to use that power and go for the knockout. But I know just with Ben really that what we're assuming may not necessarily be the case, that there is obviously another plan in play, or it might be the first plan. We'll have to wait and see on Saturday.
You'll have to wait and see. I mean, people always watch fights, and you hear that comment, oh, the only way you can win is by points. The only way you can win, the only way you can, and it's always the opposite of what everyone thinks. Maybe because like what I said, people expect it to go a certain way, and that fight was prepared for it not to go that way.
Well, the best example of that is obviously Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, where absolutely that was the last option of what people thought that was going to happen. It would be like a Fury points win nailed on if he's going to win.
David A. Tony Bellew, how many people lumped on David A. knockout? And he knew he was going to beat him, and he beat him twice. Do you know what I mean? There's so many fights in history where the same things happen time and time again. I'm not saying I'm not going to knock him out, but you can't rule me out winning on points in my own country. It'd be daft.
What do you think, or how do you think the public are looking at this fight? How do you think they're perceiving this fight? What chances do you think they're giving you?
I think it's split. Obviously, I've got a lot of support in Nottingham. I got a massive support, and every time someone tweets something, I ain't got a chance, so I always share it. Retweet it, and my Nottingham lot jump on it, and they got my back. But not only that, like sometimes I think, right, I'm gonna retweet all these, and after my fight, I'll come back to them. But then I get to them after my fight, I'm like, do you know what? Winning's enough. Winning's enough. Do you know what I mean? And thank you for the fuel to do so. Because as I'm reading these, I'm thinking, I'll prove you wrong. Thank you. I like that one. Leigh Woods, under a video of him punching 50 million shots, Leigh Woods dead. I love it. I thrive on that. You know what I mean? So yeah, the public may be a bit split, especially people not from Nottingham. But that's the best thing for it. The more people that write me off, the crazier the odds are with the bookies. These are the things that I'll thrive off.
Does that give you more incentive? Just following on from what you said there, to read comments like that. And we know what social media, we haven't got to go into that, but we know what social media is on that kind of flip side of people that don't even know decide to tweet you that you've got no chance. All right, just why? Yeah, you love it. Okay.
Like obviously, every individual sports person is different. different personalities. Some people have coaches that have to tell their athletes they're the best thing ever, and then they believe they are the best thing ever. Every day they have to reassurance and tell them. And that's not a bad thing. That's just how different people click, different people operate differently. But since I've been the youngest of kids, I remember hanging around in groups of kids. I had a really good childhood with the children and that around the area at the time. And since I've been young, I remember like would go out and do crazy stuff, climb trees, make dens, go on motorbikes and that. And there'd always be things where someone would say, "You can't do that." Then it's bang. My head's like, "I'll do that." And I've been like that since I can remember. Whether it's like a half pipe was half built near my house, it had all netting mesh fence around it. And we went up there, and guy goes, you weren't dropping off. They wouldn't even finish it. They wouldn't even sides up. It's like, you can't drop in on that. I'll drop in on that. So I put these skates on. Ooh, fell in. But I've been like that since a kid. And if someone told me I can't do something, I will be hell-bent to do it. And the more of these comments I read, the more negative stuff I get. It's just fueling me.
Just finally, Leigh, before I let you go off, it's quite early. It's not early, but it's...
I know. I want to watch Ben and Barry and my friend Sam. They're all body sparring in there, and I want to go make sure Sam's getting top side of him.
I might come in and watch that.
Come and have a look, yeah.
Just finally, in your head, when you go to bed at night or just in the course of the day, what's your perfect scenario? How does it play out on Saturday night for yourself?
Play out. I don't know, because if you overthink something too much, you know, that's like Panzani, don't go that way. You got the expectation and reality meeting each other. But I'm going to get the win no matter what. And I can't see him taking my power round after round after round, because he's there to be it. And every single person with me that has been there to be hit since fighting at featherweight is gone. The only person that I couldn't get rid of, and I felt like I couldn't catch him clean because he's very show-like. It was my first southpaw boxer pro. I couldn't really nail Dickens. But everyone else there that's been there to be hit, I've got rid of. And I can't see him having a super chin. You're going to have to be absolutely granite to withstand my shots on Saturday night. But if he does, it's going to be a long fight for him if he's standing up to him, because I'm just going to keep coming all night. And my bombs just going to keep coming. I know what I need to do to nullify him. And I'm going to be smart with it, so his face will be a mess.
Okay, and next week a little word on Dickens and Galahad?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great fight. Dickens, you would say, with the momentum. But I'd lean towards Galahad. Late stoppage, possibly. I mean, Dickens may have learnt from the first time. He's picked up a lot of experience since then, but he needs to be so crafty and smart to get through the distance, I believe, and win. Because he's going to have to put a lot of energy, he's going to have to put a lot in early to win the rounds. But, you know, I'm excited to watch that. And, you know, nothing against him, may the best man win. Just my opinion. I won't bet on it either, because it is that tight. But, you know, I'm looking forward to it.
It's mad to think that first fight was probably about 8 years ago. Crazy.
Yeah, I was there.
It was on the same night as Mayweather-Canelo.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't go to Mayweather-Canelo and I was there. So.
What a fight it was as well. And I think Barry was down on the cards and he produced that shot. So, you know, it's going to be probably a similar fight this time. Obviously, they sparred a lot around, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, Leigh, best of luck on Saturday. We've got the press conference later on, weigh-in tomorrow, and then fight night is in Mr. Hearn's back garden. There'll be fans there, live on the zone as well. So, yeah, go and do it.
I'm going to get it done. Don't worry about it. I'm going to get it done. A lot of people do believe in me. I know I said a lot of people got negative stuff, but I got a lot of positive tweets as well, and I do appreciate them. So everyone that's backing me, thank you. Everyone that's betting on me, I hope they come in for you. And have a great night afterwards. And one last thing, it's my birthday actually, the day after the fight. So I'm going to make it a cracking birthday for myself.
Take home the belt. Leigh, thank you very much, and we'll speak to you later on in the week.
See you soon.